All right, so let's look at one more example of how to keep our opponents heavy. So in this example, we have white who has created some shape here to break up this area, but hasn't finished by making two eyes yet. So white has been left a little weak. So now what we should do is we should hit the head of two stones, because it's limiting white's way to get out, right? If we were to play somewhere else, white can get out, and this would be really good for white. So if we hit the head of two stones, this leaves white only one area to go. So if white was to come out like this, one, we've created the empty triangle shape, which is good for black and bad for white. Now two, there's still a big cutting point here, right? So if black peeps at this cutting point, which this is another good example of the peep, white should connect. And so now white looks silly, right? White is chained up to a large amount of stones. It's very weak, right? It doesn't have a lot of eye space or potential. And so now black is doing a good job, right, of making white heavy and in bad shape. Black now should protect its weakness because there's a big weakness here. So it would create what's called the table shape. This is something we'll talk about in the next lecture. But we can see that these four stones here protect both cutting points, which is very good. White will continue to try and get out, and as white does, black can harass it by poking at a bunch of weaknesses and then building its own territory. And as white finally escapes, black can't really attack it very efficiently right now because white is so far out now. So instead of continuing the attack, this is where we shift our eyes. We've done a good job of solidifying this area more and this area more. So now we take a big point, right? We can play another big move. So this is what heavy stones look like. It's what we should avoid if we're the white player. It's what we should try and strive for the black player, right? We should try and keep our opponents weak and heavy and lacking eye shape.